I'm Andrew Kaink. I'm the course leader for the BA Linguistics and English Combinations, which means that you can combine creative writing, English literature, English language, or linguistics, and you combine two of those. So I'm the course leader. And I teach English language and I teach linguistics. In linguistics, we look at what language is in general. So we're looking at languages around the world. You don't need to be able to speak any other language than your native language, but obviously the more languages you know, the better. We look at what languages have in common in terms of their structure, in terms of their sound, in terms of the meanings. And we look at how people use language and how it reflects the society in which they're living. In English language, it's quite a close subject to linguistics, and sometimes there's a little bit of overlap. You'll be able to make quite a lot of connections if you're studying both those subjects. But obviously in English language, we focus on one language. But of course, the English language varies enormously around the world. So we look at English as a global language. We look at the way it varies from one country to another, from American English to Indonesian English to Nigerian English. And of course, we look at the varieties of English around the United Kingdom, accents and dialects, how it varies in this country. We also look at the history of the English language, how it's changed over time. So we look at the more or less up to Shakespeare period, and then we look at the period since then, early modern period. And we look at how people use the language when they're speaking and how they use the language when they're writing, and how it varies depending on the audience and how the language reflects the gender, ethnicity and class of the person speaking. Employers like communication skills. They want people that have got good communication skills, that are able to use language really well. If you study English language or linguistics or both, you're really learning a great deal about language and how people use the language, but you're also developing your skills in actually using it as well, both in a written situation and a spoken situation. We'll develop your skills in terms of presentations and in terms of writing essays, writing reports. So it's very relevant towards your future career. That's a very important factor that you need to consider. But it's also a lot of fun. People are very interested in language. You go anywhere and tell them that you're a linguist, and immediately they'll start telling you about language. Everybody's interested in it. It's a fascinating subject, and it really comes down to the core of what it is to be human as well. We are the only beings that have language, and that makes it very exciting as an area of study.